I want to have more energy. I want to run around with my kids, right? But that all requires a new way of being because you've never had those things before. You're going to have to be someone that feels really good about themselves when they wake up in the morning. You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am Sandy Patterson, your host and certified life and business coach. And as always, I am so happy that you are here to spend a few minutes with me today. Now, I don't know if you can hear it right now, but outside in the trees, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, we have this flock of green parrots that live in the tree outside. And usually they're only here in October and November, but now it's December and they are still just out there squawking away. They are so loud. So I'm not sure if you can hear them, but if you can, just ignore it. It was either don't record this episode and wait for them to be quiet, which I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen at this point. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and hop on, embrace the imperfection, embrace the squawking parrots, and here I am today. So I hope you are having a good, quiet day wherever this episode finds you. Now, it's the end of 2023, which that in itself is kind of incredible to think about, right? Think about all of the things that you've accomplished this year and think about the person that you were at the beginning of 2023 and who you are now. That is huge. So much progress, so much growth, so many great things, so many things happening over the course of this year, right? So take just a second to look back and recognize the growth and the progress you've made. And maybe 2023 didn't go as you had planned, or maybe it was just a hard year for you, and that's okay too. What were the lessons that you learned? Because regardless of whether it was a good or a bad year or a terrible year or an awesome year, you're not the same person that you were a year ago. Now, I know that at the end of the year, for many of us, it really feels like a fresh start. It's a new beginning and we set goals for the new year. It is this fresh energy and we have really awesome intentions of doing all of these things that maybe we didn't get to accomplish this year, or things that we haven't followed through on, or things that we've been meaning to do. So in today's talk, we're going to talk a little bit about why that is. So in today's episode, we're going to chat about why that is. Not why we make goals, but why we don't always follow through with what we say we're going to do. And this has always been really fascinating to me. And I think that it will be fascinating to you, and to help you better understand that it is not just you, that says that you're going to go to the gym 5 times a week starting on January 1st and you're going to eat really healthy. And then by March, you've long forgotten about the gym and it seems like a faraway, impossible thought, right? And you probably also are feeling lame and making yourself unnecessarily feel bad because you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So we're going to talk about why that happens. And my goal, I'm talking all about goals here, right? That's funny. My goal here is to just help you recognize and understand and notice what is happening. And once you start to recognize and notice, that in itself is power, right? Because when you notice, you can begin to change things and you can take back control. That knowledge, if you do something with it, gives you the power to take back your control and not just push everything outside of ourselves and blame our circumstances for results. So today, I want you to understand why many people set goals and then don't always follow through with them, or say they're going to achieve something or say they're going to do something and then don't always follow through. And a little spoiler alert here, it's not because they're lazy, it's not because they're not disciplined, it's not because they're not smart or can't figure it out, it's not because they don't want it or they don't care or any of these things that have probably crossed your mind, right? There is a very specific reason why, and this is what is fascinating to me. Let me give you a little background here. I was recently NLP certified. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and it's basically like mindset on steroids. And the big underlying concept in NLP is really getting in rapport with your subconscious mind. And we talk about it as like a user manual for your brain. Okay. Now, what I've always been fascinated with is this idea of our thoughts and our beliefs, right? Like we get to choose what we think, we get to choose our beliefs. So let me just give you a little example here. If I say I want to be more confident, okay, perfect. I want to be more confident. So I can wake up one morning and I can decide that I'm going to be confident. Perfect. It seems so easy, right? Like just be confident. Perfect. I decided confident. Like it's almost like it sounds so as simple as like, go take out the trash. Like, okay, I'll just go take out the trash and be done with it. Perfect. But really, I'm fascinated with what happens in between understanding that you have a certain belief and you want to change that belief. So what happens in between figuring out what the old belief is and actually rewiring your brain to believe the new belief, if that makes sense. So that's initially why I wanted to be NLP certified. That's basically what I wanted to understand. What happens in between point A and point B? Because as we all know, it is not that easy. Like we don't just say, I'm going to be confident and then wake up and we're kicking ass, right? It takes work and it takes intentionality and it takes time and there's work that you got to do in your brain, right? And so that is really why I decided to get NLP certified. And now it's something that I'm able to use on myself and with my clients. And I had a friend asking me recently, like, what is NLP? Like, what does that even mean? And like I said, for me, it's really just like the best way for me to describe it. And this is just my definition. So it's probably not even like, it's just mine. So take that with a grain of salt. It's just your mindset on steroids. It's a way to figure out how your brain works and how to rewire your brain in order to better serve you and what you really want. Okay, so today we're going to talk all about this. That's a little background about this kind of episode, but it ties into how so many people at the beginning of the year set goals and don't always follow through with them. I mentioned this before, but it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not disciplined. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's not because you don't want it. There is a actually very specific reason why. And that reason is your being. Your being, right? B-E-I-N-G. Your being. Now, let me go ahead and I'm going to try to break this down the best that I can because it's kind of complex, but stick with me here because it's going to make a lot of sense. And once it makes sense to you, again, that's when we take control back. Okay. So when I say being, what does being even mean? Well, the definition of the word being is the nature or essence of a person. So where does your nature or essence come from, right? Your being or your essence is formed in your childhood, okay? From the years of like 0 to like 8, 9-ish. So during that time, up until 8, 9 years old, you and your brain are literally like a sponge taking everything in at a very literal level. Okay, so everything you see, everything you hear your caretakers talk about, everything you see on TV, everything that you experience, it's coming in and your brain is taking that to form your beliefs at a very literal level. This is your essence, right? This is your nature. So it's not until about age 8 or 9 that your conscious mind is formed. So until 8 or 9-ish years old, your subconscious mind is driving soaking in everything, forming your beliefs, forming your being. It's locking in those beliefs. And keep in mind again that your subconscious is very literal. It can't distinguish between different things, right? So now we as adults and as humans have two minds. We have the conscious mind, which is responsible for logical reasoning. It sets goals. It's where your imagination is or your rationale. It's easy to control your conscious mind because you're able to use it to make choices. These are the things that we are consciously aware of. And you are not going to believe this, but your conscious mind is actually only responsible for 5% of what your brain is doing. 5%. So where's the other 95%? It's the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is responsible for the other 95%. So really, the subconscious mind is in the driver's seat, okay? Whether we realize it or not, our subconscious mind, with all of those beliefs and all of those things that we pulled in childhood, it's running the show, okay? Your subconscious mind is responsible for things that we don't even think about too, like digesting food or breathing, circulation. And it's also where we store all of our memories, beliefs, our habits, and our attitudes. Your subconscious mind can really be compared to flying a plane on autopilot, right? Like you're not having to do anything. Like you're not having to remind yourself every day to digest food. You just do it. It just happens. It just does it. It is constantly running programs to control how we do everything, right? How we walk, how we sit, how we breathe, how we talk, and all of those things. So the important thing to remember here is your subconscious mind houses your beliefs, okay? Now, how does this tie into New Year's or really any time of the year resolutions? So let's take some common New Year's resolutions here, or let's call them goals. I like the word goals better because goals, I think of goals like anytime. You can make a goal anytime. I guess you can make a resolution anytime, but anyways, okay, call them whatever you want. I'm going to call them goals here. So here are some common New Year's goals we might hear or see, and these might be some of your goals too. And I'm going to use examples of a business owner, okay? As a business owner, I'm going to make X amount of money. So I'm going to make, let's just say $100,000 as a business owner in my business this year. Your goal might be, as a business owner, I am going to create a presence on social media and post on Instagram every day. Or I am going to get 10 new clients in my business each month. Those are all goals. These are all goals that our conscious mind is creating. And we can very easily take action to meet these goals, right? We can Google, how do I get new clients? We know how to post on social media every day. We know how to make money. We know how to make a certain amount of money, right? We can do the things we need to do to accomplish these goals. Just stick with me here. To make that $100,000, we might create a new offer suite in our business. That's the doing part. That's what I can do to get to that goal. To create a presence on social media, you might just go for it and post on social media every day. To get 10 new clients, you might hone in on our lead gen activities, right? However, here's the thing. If your being is not aligned to your goals, you can take all the action you want, but your subconscious mind is going to revert you back to your old way of being. This is because the subconscious mind likes familiar. She likes comfortable. I'm just going to call her she. She likes it safe. And she likes to know that what we're doing is totally possible and totally doable. Okay? So check this out. Your conscious mind says that you want something. These are your goals, right? But you have a conflicting belief in your subconscious. And the subconscious mind overrides the conscious mind every time. So inadvertently, when you try and do something or achieve something that is not aligned with your subconscious and those beliefs in your subconscious is going to kick you right back. Okay, so here's an example. Let's use this very common go to the gym example. Okay, New Year's goal is to go to the gym and to get healthy. Perfect. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. This is a conscious goal from my conscious mind. If your subconscious mind is in the background and it's driving how you are being without you consciously knowing it, it is no wonder why come March, you've reverted back to the old way of being because your subconscious mind is comfortable. Your subconscious mind is familiar in that space of putting off the gym, of avoiding the gym, of pressing snooze every morning so you don't get up. You don't put your feet on the ground, and you know full well that you're going to feel guilty after, but it's familiar. And your subconscious mind will always, always gravitate and go for familiar. She likes familiar, okay? So again, it's not a matter of you being lazy. You might actually pull this off, for the first couple weeks of January, but you're running on willpower there, not on belief. And willpower is limited. You cannot run on that motivation forever. It's going to run out. It's the belief that's not aligned. So again, it's not a matter of you being lazy or not being disciplined or you just being a loser and not going to the gym. It's really because your subconscious mind is holding on to that old way of being and has not shifted into this new way of being and the belief that it is possible for you to get to the gym and get healthy. The new way of being would be being able to, right? To follow through on the commitment to the gym, to show up 3 days a week, to eat healthy, to get a good night's sleep. Your subconscious mind here is like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. What's on the other side of that? Because we've never been over there before. We've never been to that, that being. We're not used to feeling and being healthy. So your subconscious mind is going to kick back and be like, what's on the other side? I don't know what's on the other side of that. So it's going to inadvertently, without you actually knowing, take you back to the old way of being. The old way of being, again, is I'm going to press snooze. I'm not going to get up. I might feel guilty. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. All right, I'll just do it next week. And then before you know it, 6 months have passed and you're back into that old cycle, your old way of being. Okay, so it's again, not about being lazy or not wanting it bad enough or any of those things. It's just because your subconscious mind has not transitioned into the new way of being. So how the heck do we fix this, right? Now that you know this information, you're like, well, what is this, just hopeless, right? How do we get to a new way of being, a new belief system? So I'm going to tell you how to start doing that today. And this is something that I work with my clients on often because so many people, anything you're going to do, anything that's new, whether it's becoming healthy or becoming a business owner or making a big transition in your life or making a certain amount of money or finding a new relationship or leaving a relationship, whatever it is, any sort of change requires a new way of being. We always hear that saying, in order to have something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Well, the same goes here. In order to have something you've never had, you are going to have to do things you've never had to do before, but you're also going to have to be someone you've never been before. And for your subconscious mind, that is scary. That is scary shit right there, okay? Because again, your subconscious mind wants to gravitate and hold on to whatever is familiar, that old way of being, even if you consciously know that it's not serving you, even though you know it's not what's best for you. You know what's best for you is to get your ass in the gym, to work out, not only to feel better, but to have more energy, to run around with your kids, to feel better in your own skin. It's like this duel between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is always going to win unless you start to rewire it. And this is where NLP comes in for me and my clients. So now that we know this information, how can we use this to pay attention to what's going on in our brain? And how do we step into a new way of being, a new belief? how do we tell our subconscious mind, hey, subconscious mind, it's all good, it's okay. This is just a new space. This is unfamiliar, but it's okay. It's safe for us to step into this and to do this. This is actually, it's not only safe, but it's actually really, really good for us. So you can see how you're going to essentially build rapport with your subconscious mind, and then you're going to rewire it and create new beliefs for yourself. So let me tell you, you start to rewire your subconscious mind, and this is tricky, okay? This takes a ton of intentionality and a lot of work. And again, I know some people will hear this and be like, oh, a lot of work, intentionality, like I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. But trust me, if you want to make a change or you want something in your life that you've never had before, or if you are finally ready to achieve that goal and to take charge, you have to be intentional and you have to start rewiring. There is no such thing here as a quick fix, okay? And I believe that in both business and in life, there is no such thing as a quick fix. Yes, for some things there are, but things that are really lasting and really, really impactful and really life-changing, you have to put the work in, okay? So there's nothing you're going to do here to just like flip the switch. Instead, what you have to start doing again is to be intentional. Intentionally communicating with your subconscious, building that rapport to remind you that it is okay, okay? The first thing you do in order to do that, to let it know that it's okay and to start to rewire, is to first figure out what that old story is. What's the old way of being? What are you so used to? First thing is to figure that out. And that again is not always easy because I've talked to a lot of people too that like don't remember a lot of things. They're like, I know something's in my way. Something's blocking me here, but I cannot figure out what it is. There's something going on here. So the first thing is to figure this out. And this is done through journaling. It's done through talking with a coach. It's done through meditation. It's done through slowing down. It's done through visualizations. It's done just by taking the time and the space to begin to build that rapport, right? So you're going to lay it all out. You're going to figure out what those old stories are. So what are you used to? What are you comfortable with? And not necessarily actually comfortable, but how has it been forever? You know, we hear things like it's always been like this, or I've always done it like this. I've always been like this. I'm just the type of person that blah, 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 whatever. Fill in the blanks. I wish I could do something, but what's the but? This is where those old stories lie, where those beliefs lie. Okay. So once you identify that old way of being, that old story, then you start to identify the new way of being that's going to serve you. So if you're letting go of this old, what do you want to believe? Maybe you don't quite believe it yet, but what would it be nice to believe? Okay, you're essentially going to re-script it. Now, this can be, again, as easy as just writing out or thinking about it or voice memo it out or whatever you want to do. Talk about it with your coach. What is it that you actually want and why do you want it, right? Just like we talked about the gym example, right? Like, okay, my goal is to go to the gym 3 days a week. Okay, why? Well, because I want to be healthy. Okay, well, why do you want to be healthy? Then we peel the layers back and dig for those reasons, because I want to feel better. I want to be comfortable in my own clothing. I want to have more energy. I want to run around with my kids, right? But that all requires a new way of being because you've never had those things before. You're going to have to be someone that feels really good about themselves when they wake up in the morning. You need to be someone that feels comfortable in their clothing. You want to be someone who has enough energy to run around at the park with your kids. The next step here is to figure out why any of these reasons might be threatening to your subconscious mind. Okay, so think about that for just a second. I hear this one often too with money. I will hear business owners say, okay, I want to make $5,000 a month, but I'm stuck at this one spot. I cannot get past this one income level. I am stuck here. And sure enough, when we start to peel back the layers here and we start to ask questions, usually they're stuck where they've always been at that income level. So let's just say the income level is 2K. I'm making 2,000 in my business a month, which is what I've always made. This is what I made at my old job, but I'm stuck here and I want to make more. And again, your words, when you say, this is where I've always been, that's your subconscious mind talking. That's where you've always been. So that's where it wants to keep you. You are comfortable there, whether you recognize it or not. And here's how this might play out as far as the money example goes. Let's just say you get a bonus somehow at work. You're like, woohoo, perfect. This is amazing. I've been wanting more money. I want to hit that 5K mark. And here it is. Awesome. Great. Fabulous. But then something will happen. Your kids need some sort of dental work. Your refrigerator breaks. Your car needs new tires, whatever it is. And then that money is gone again and you're back to right where you started. That is how your subconscious mind plays into this. And I'm not saying that your subconscious mind goes out to the kitchen and breaks your refrigerator, but it's really all about the law of attraction, right? Your subconscious mind is looking for things to deflect money because you've always been at this one point. It's always been like this. It's where it's comfortable. It's where we're just chilling. It's where we know it's possible and it's doable. We've got everything comfortable here, right? When we step outside of that possibility, it gets scary for your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is a big old scaredy cat, okay? It does not like new things. It does not like things that are unfamiliar, okay? So in this work where we rewire, we identify what the scary part of gaining these things and this new belief might be. And for the money example might be like, okay, I really want to make those 5K months, right? That sounds great. It sounds wonderful. Like, what problems could I ever have if I was making 5K per month? I would be so happy. There would be no problems. I wouldn't have to worry about paying my bills. My husband could retire. I could go on a shopping spree, or I could take my family on vacation, whatever it is. This is your conscious mind thinking these things. But what's the negative counterpart to that your subconscious mind is holding on to? Your subconscious mind might be thinking, oh my goodness, we've never done this before. We've never been responsible for our whole entire family. We've never been the breadwinner of the family. That is way too scary. That sounds like a lot of pressure and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of I don't know, is this even possible? Could we even do that? I don't know. It seems kind of scary. Let's revert back to the place where we've always been and let's just stay there in our little bubble. So you can see what's on the other side is the scary part of this. Or what if I make $1 million next year and then I lose all my friends and family because they won't like me anymore, or they'll think I'm rich and stuck up. As ridiculous as these things sound to say out loud, that is what your subconscious mind is thinking because it thinks at a very, very literal level. And your subconscious mind is just trying to keep you safe, okay? So we think our subconscious mind, we say, okay, cool, thank you, I get it. I see what you're scared of, but I also want to remind you too that this is safe. This new thing, this new way of being, this new space that we're heading into, it is safe and it's okay and it's possible. And not only is it possible for us to do this, if for some reason something's awry, we already know how to get back to square one, which is exactly where we are right now. So it's not like really anything can get worse. Your subconscious mind is always just going to revert back to that square one, wherever you are right now, wherever you're used to. So that was pretty in-depth. And as always, I'm really curious to hear what you think. I hope that you have a clearer understanding of that missing puzzle piece for New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals and why we don't always follow through. It's that way of being. We have to work on the being part, who we are and how we are showing up. So let's talk about the steps that you can take when you notice yourself reverting back to your old way of being. Because again, you know you are smart, you are disciplined, you're determined. But when you notice yourself reverting back to your old way of being, again, this is where the power comes in. And this can happen anytime throughout the year, right? This can happen New Year's, whenever, right? So you're going to identify first what your conscious mind wants. These are your goals. Number 2, you're going to identify what your subconscious mind believes is possible and safe. These are usually stories or things that you're going to remember from your childhood, and they may take a little bit of time and a lot of really deep questioning from a coach or even a therapist to dig these up, okay? And then number 3, figure out why your subconscious mind is scared of this. What's the scary part of this? What's the flip side of the conscious thoughts? And then you begin to rewire that belief or your way of being. And the best ways to do this is the $1 million question, right? You have to slow down and notice and question your thoughts, okay? Journaling is always a great way to get in rapport with your subconscious mind. Talking about it with a coach or a friend even. This is a process that I do with my clients often, okay? And I know that I am a life and business coach, but a lot of times people moving into that next level of business or even just getting started, we have to shift our way of being before we are really going to see any progress, right? Again, going back to the thing we talked about in the beginning, we can do all the things. And for a lot of us, it's really easy. We're used to following a checklist. We're used to following directions. We're used to saying, okay, yeah, just give me the list. I'll do this, this, and this. But if your being is not aligned, none of it's going to work, okay? You can meditate, guided meditations or guided visualizations. Those are a great way to do. There are some very specific NLP exercises. And let me know if you're more interested in hearing about some of these. You'll have to send me a message or email me and let me know because I'd love to talk more about this. Obviously, clearly, I've been talking for a long time now. So essentially, by doing all of these things, you're letting your subconscious mind know that it's okay to step into that new way of being. So again, like I said, I would love to hear what your thoughts are, what your questions are. So your job now is to go out there, decide what your goals are for 2024, and begin to get your being in alignment with those goals and take aligned action. And by the end of 2024, so a year from now, you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I freaking crushed my goals. I did it because you focused on that being part just as much as you focused on the doing part. Okay. And if you want more information on how to do this, I know that when I first started doing this and accessing my own subconscious and rewiring stories and beliefs, I was not really sure what I was doing. And again, that's why I signed up to get the NLP certification. And now I do this with my clients. So please reach out and let's chat. I would love to work with you. I would love to work with both your conscious mind and your subconscious mind and help you crush your goals for 2024 through one-to-one coaching. I have availability. So please make sure you check out the show notes. You can apply for coaching. It's a quick little questionnaire. There's 6 questions on it, I believe. And we can get you rolling because let's not wait any longer. And again, now that you have this information, you also have the power to change your being and to change your life. So I will see you again for the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.